Welcome to the Jeff Crilley Show. And now, here's Jeff Crilley.
I'll tell you what, when I was in college, there were no courses in being an entrepreneur. All the professors told you was, here's how you get a job, and if you don't get fired, you can get the gold watch. I never even thought about becoming an entrepreneur, and I became an entrepreneur when I was 45, 7 years ago. So entrepreneurship is now a mainstream career path. They offer it in college. There are obviously plenty of pitfalls along the way, but joining us to discuss the do's and don'ts of being your own boss is Steve LaMure. He is the president of the Dallas chapter of EO, that stands for Entrepreneurs Organization. Steve, welcome to the Jeff Crilley Show.
Hey, thanks, Jeff. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So it is sexy now, and I think all these millennials are coming out of college and they're saying, I'm going to be my own boss. But it's not for everyone, is it?
Oh, no, it's definitely not for everyone. And I don't know that any course in college can teach you how to do it. I think there's a lot of pitfalls, like you say, along the way, and that lack of security or envisioned lack of security is a tough thing to tackle.
So I know sometimes journalists will come. We have an all-journalist PR firm, and journalists will come to me and they'll say, "Hey, Jeff, tell me about the PR thing. You're doing really well with your company. Is this for me?" And I would tell them, I would say, okay, well, there's two kinds of people. Some people really like that paycheck every 2 weeks and being able to turn it off and not think about the company on the weekend or nights. And other people, couldn't live that way. And you know how it is. It's a 24-hour job, isn't it?
You bet. And I think, some people jump into it because they want to do it and they've got that drive, and then other people are forced into it. For example, when I started my company, I was laid off. In 2009, there was more startup companies in Dallas than any other year in history. So that was obviously right in the middle of the Great Recession. So people a lot of times do it by necessity. And then I believe that many of those that do it by necessity then become to love that. They come to love it, and they understand how that truly is their own security.
Could you ever see yourself working for someone else again?
Oh, no. I'm unhireable.
I'm the same way. I worked for 25 years in TV news, and I loved it. And people thought it was a big deal that I was on television. No, you're on TV. But I wouldn't trade this for the world. It's fun being able to think that I can control my own destiny. I can create something that perhaps leave to my family one day. It's there is a joy of being an entrepreneur, is there not?
Oh, you bet. It's the greatest, but there's also, like you said, a lot of pitfalls along the way, and that's really where EO comes in. If you want me to talk about EO
Absolutely.
a little bit, EO is a community of like-minded entrepreneurs, and there's certain levels of income and employees that you have to be a member of that organization. But it's really a peer-to-peer experience sharing between other people that have gone through the same thing that you're going through as a business owner, or that they're going through it now, or they have gone through it. And it's a great organization to help you along the way with the highs and lows of owning your own business.
Well, I can't say enough about it. I mean, it's my wife jokes that it's the fraternity that I never belonged to, and obviously it's a fraternity and sorority. But very few people can identify with the stress that an entrepreneur might have. And so tell us about EO Dallas. I know we're one of the largest chapters in North America, are we not?
Yeah, we are. We're a really large chapter. We're a very active chapter. And like you said, kind of the fraternity scenario, you can get as involved as you want to be. And obviously going through 4 years on the board and becoming the president, I'm quite involved. I would say, 25% of my activity is EO related or with other EO members. But the goal of EO is to build the most influential community of entrepreneurs globally. We've got about 13,000 members globally. Dallas is a large chapter, about 150 plus members. We have monthly learning events that help us with our business, that has real meat for an entrepreneur to take back to their business the next day and implement. We have what is known as Forum, that you're very familiar with. And Forum is a small group of business owners that get together on a monthly basis and share the highs and lows and share with what they're going through. And
I'm not allowed to talk about the paddles and the hazing.
Right? No. Forum confidential. Absolutely. But that's one of the biggest benefits of EO is the Forum experience. There's global universities that go on. My wife and I are going to Japan in October, to Osaka and Kyoto for global university, which is really exciting. There's educational programs at MIT.
Wow.
We have strategic partners and mentorship programs and member-to-member exchanges. So there's a lot of good things that EO bring to a business owner that can help them with that journey.
Well, one of the things that I love about EO is that you're learning from others who may be farther along that road than you are. And so before you're about to make a mistake that could cost your company its life, somebody in your forum or someone that you're talking to shares their experience with you and maybe keeps you from making a fatal mistake.
Oh, you bet. And one of the things I love or that I got the most out of, so my business is probably quadrupled since I joined EO 4 years ago.
Wow.
And one of the things I love is in that experience they ask, why not you? Because you go in there as a business owner and you've never gone down that road and you're nervous and you're trying to tackle something that's significantly bigger than you thought you would ever tackle. And in your mind, all you're saying is, I can't do this. How can I do this? And EO says, why not you? And that's been one of the biggest things that I've gotten out of EO is just go forward, go boldly, and go for it.
To be successful, should you hang around other entrepreneurs?
I definitely think that's a good idea. I think that you should have your business strategy mapped out and know what you're going to do if a rough patch hits or if it doesn't go. What's your plan B? You really can't. You almost can't go into that without any options. Everybody that I've talked to that's a successful entrepreneur, they didn't have any other options. They certainly, they were, like I said, unhireable almost, or they've already made that choice. So you've got to just go for it.
My guest right now, Steve LaMure. He's the president of the Dallas chapter of EO, that's Entrepreneurs Organization. One of the things that I think is always going through the mind of an entrepreneur, they're always building their business or working on their business. Let's talk about taking risks, because you can't really play in the safe zone and grow your business. You have to take smart risks. How do you know when you're gambling?
Well, I think we're all gambling, right? Just the fact that we give up a paycheck and give up that sense of security to move forward in our own business, you're gambling. And I don't know anyone in EO or other entrepreneurs that have been successful that didn't take significant risks. What's the difference between a well thought out risk and one that you probably shouldn't take or that's real gambling? I can't answer that for each individual business owner, but I take significant risks in my business every day. And some of them work out and some of them don't. And you learn from the ones that don't work out, and then you go share that with other people.
How about hiring good employees? Some of the companies that we talk about, Apple, Google, these companies with great culture that, hundreds of people will apply for a single job. How do you create great company culture and attract the right employees?
So I think that's a big topic in EO. We talk about it a lot in Forum. We talk about it a lot at learning events. It's very difficult to hire the right people. And we've got a strategic alliance partner out on Culture Index that is a personality testing organization that does a really good job. And when they tell me not to hire somebody, I don't. I did it one time when they told me not to, and it was the wrong thing to do. And it's one of those helpful pieces, but it's also just your own gut and what you think that person is. We also talk about this, the right people in the right seats, right? Because sometimes you can have the right employees, they're just in the wrong position or the wrong seats. And I think that's a real struggle for all entrepreneurs. But certainly the culture of your company comes directly from you and how you run that organization and what you expect.
And tell us about your day job, so to speak. I know you run EO and it takes quite a bit of your time, but what do you do for a living?
So that probably is my day job. my evening and weekend job is Dominus Commercial. It's a commercial real estate firm. We're a full-service real estate company, and we've tried to really work on our culture there to have a lot of fun. We do a lot of events together, happy hours and lunches and great Christmas parties, and we'll go out of town on a short trip together. And I think those kind of things are great for keeping the company culture alive. And then knowing when the wrong person is in the company and making sure that you take care of that so that it doesn't change the culture. But anyways, we're a full-service real estate company here in Dallas and enjoying that very much.
That's great. And it's commercial real estate, so would someone hire you to help them put a deal together?
So our main business is representing tenants that need office space or that are currently in office space and they have a lease coming up. So that's our main business. We also represent buildings and management and leasing, and then we have an investment division that purchases assets that we feel like are undervalued and try to turn those assets around and then sell them for a profit. That's the intent.
You really believe that EO helped you quadruple your business? You learned some secrets from others?
I'd like to say that I'd like to give myself a little bit of credit, but I can tell you the things that I've learned from EO, from the speakers and from the members, has been incredibly helpful in building my business. Like I said, in Forum, there was a time where business was not going well. I thought everybody was against me and things were not great. And my Forum really pushed me through that time period and told me that, hey, why not you? You can do it.
And it gives you access to friends like 24/7. If you're having a problem, you can call an EO member anywhere on the planet and say, hey.
I'm a pretty social guy. And when the one thing that I was worried about in joining EO was, hey, I don't have time, and I've already got enough friends. I don't need any more friends. I can tell you probably 70% of my friends now are EO members, and it's a great, it's just a great organization.
With about 30 seconds left, what do you hope to bring to EO in your year?
I want to shake things up a little bit this year, get some really new, excited, active members, and host some great learning events to help these business owners move forward.
What's the website?
eodallas.org.
Awesome.
Hey,
Steve
thanks,
LaMure,
Jeff.
thank you for being
Awesome.
on the Jeff
Appreciate
Crilley
it.
Show. And thank you for listening. We'll see you next week at 11 o'clock here on 1190 AM.